Create a big fucking vision for your life. This is one of the best things you can do for your life. In fact, it is one of the most important things that you should do. And you should, if you don't have a big vision for your life already, and I mean big, you should do that today. Take the day off and like the rest of the day and create it. And I'm going to talk to you in this video about how to do it, why you should do it, what are the key elements to keep in mind, what all negatives that can come with having a big vision, and in the end how it will work out for you, right? So there's a big idea that you should be happy with little in life, that if you aim for much then you'll get disappointed if it doesn't work out, or that you should be content having a little, you shouldn't strive for much, ambition is ugly, evil, only evil people are rich, only evil people get to the top of fame, power, money, success, all these things. Of course there are evil people at the top, of course there's always going to be good and evil in every single thing, but this isn't true to everybody. Okay, vast majority of people that are successful, that are famous, and I'm pretty sure are good people, at least they're just people, normal people, right? There will always be some rotten apples, like few psychopaths and crazy people, but most people are just normal people, right? They're just doing what they want to do. They want to make art, they want to make money, they want to do whatever. And every single one at the top has a vision for their life, right? Very few people are born into stardom or success, like a big actor's son or daughter, or a billionaire's son or daughter, right? And yeah, those people exist, but vast majority of successful people are self-made and they came from nothing. In fact, being self-made and coming from nothing is actually a super advantage, because the entire journey is a reward, the top is a reward. You did it coming from nothing, so you don't really have anything to lose throughout the way, right? Everything is a bonus, and it all starts with making a vision in the starting. What do you want out of life? Where do you want to go? If you're young, the earlier you do this, the better. I made my vision when I was around 20 years old. That's the first time I started, because I was so freaking depressed and just like unhappy with my life. And the only way I knew to create meaning in my life was to build a big company and have this big vision, and like every day should be exciting to go to work and do all these things. And that was the only thing I believed would keep me active and excited. I thought I would just be too depressed and sad otherwise at like the monotony of life, that this is the only way, like I would even get out of bed. This was the only way. So for me, this was the reason I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna create like a big fucking vision. And people say like create small goals and stuff, and I'll come to goals, but I'm talking about vision right now. Vision is macro, the big picture. Goals are step by step in the process, right? And they're very different, and they both serve different purposes. Vision is what you're going towards at the end of your life. This is what you want your life to look like on your deathbed. A lot of people talk about this. Gary Vaynerchuk, Dan Pena, in the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that he talks about begin with the end in mind. And this is such a critical concept. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons for my success is I know exactly where I want to go. I want to know who I want to be. I know what I want my life to look like on my deathbed. Now, obviously, things might change. This isn't that everything is set in stone. Things might change. But there is an overarching vision. There is something that is guiding me throughout my days, throughout my weeks, months, and years to a point in my life, right? So it's a idea of who I am, where I'm gonna be, what I want, what type of contribution I want to make to the world, who my family is, what my health looks like, what kind of cars do I have, money, who my wife is, how many kids do I want. Just try to have a rough idea. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be logical, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be something that you feel you would love to have by the end of your life, right? And don't think of what is possible or what is logical. I'm not asking you to make a vision about what is doable. I'm asking you to make a vision of what you want. Just write it out. There's nothing to lose. Just write it out, what you want, what you would, if nothing was impossible, what would you want? And honestly speaking, the idea that nothing is impossible is not true. A lot of things are impossible, right? Like, I don't think you can climb Mount Everest on your nose with a car on your back. That is impossible, right? You know, I don't think you could do that. Uh, a challenge to anyone to prove me wrong, but you can't really do that. But for the vast majority of things, I just gave you an extreme example to say, like, yeah, if you want to poke a hole in any statement or theory, you can. It's not, but for the vast majority of things, nothing is really impossible. And having a big fucking vision for your life is so important, because it literally, it if you are like this, the big vision expands you. It just completely blows up your comfort zone. It blows up the idea of what's possible. And what it does is it forces you to become better. It forces you to get out of who you currently are. It forces you to go through intense obstacles. Not it forces you, it helps you. But because I had such a big vision for my life, and I'm like, I from the time I set it, I started going. And in the book The Alchemist, he talks about how life gives you like a small win in the starting that shows you the promised land, the big glimpse. And that was when I launched my clothing brand, and like 6 months later, I started hitting, like 9 months later, I started hitting like $20,000, and then it all crashed in like month. But I got a glimpse of what the big promise was, right? And so that has kept me going. That the taste of victory has been keeping me going. But it's not that taste of victory that kept me going only, it's the vision. I'm like, okay, that taste of victory, if I get to that point again, then I can build and then build, and then my vision can become a reality. It's that belief. And how to set a vision is simply just being open to listening to your heart, exactly what your heart wants. Write it down. It might sound unrealistic, it might sound grandiose. The bigger the better. It should sound impossible. It should sound like things that you shouldn't be able to accomplish in your lifetime. It should, the idea that, like, if you dream for 1 billion, you'll get to 1 million. It's like, shoot for the stars, you might land on the moon. It's really like that. And not only that, when you set that vision, you're literally telling the universe, hey, this is what I want. It's like a manifestation, it's an order. It's like, hey, this is what I want, give it to me. And I'll tell you, because I've set a vision for so many years, decades into my life. It's a long term vision. I won't see that this is becoming real until like 50, 60, and by the time it becomes real, it's my end goal, right? I'll be ready to die. There's no point. But there are all these checkpoints and mile markers throughout life that I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm manifesting everything. There was this Excel sheet I made about the girl I wanted to marry, her age, at what age she would be and I would be when we meet, and how many years into my journey. I had just made this random Excel sheet like this. And 5 to 7 years after making that, I think 7 years after making it, I think around maybe 6, something like that, but 5 to 7 in between, I actually met, and we had the exact same age gaps, and we had like my age and her age. We met on the exact age that I knew I would meet her in. Like, I said I would meet her at, like, for example, 25. I met her when I was 25, and she was her age, and the age gap was the same and everything. And the apartment I said I wanted to live when I was 15, the exact same thing. The kind of business thought I wanted to have, the exact same thing. I wanted to have the kind of, like, person I wanted to be in my 20s, the exact same thing. So everything that I thought from my initial vision and is coming. And the thing is, that vision wasn't even made with like 100% like knowledge that this could work. It wasn't even made with 100% knowledge of how to make it work. It was just like, hey, this is what I want, okay, let's see what is happening. As soon as it started, I just like allowed myself to be fucking crazy. I'm like, okay, this is true, it's done. And I'm just started walking like it is. And I was being delusional, I was being crazy to 99% of people, but I wasn't. I was just being delusional. To me, it was my fucking delusion, and it was gonna become a reality no matter what anybody said. Even me recording this video, I'm sitting here like in this, like, there's like a dirty river, there's no smell though, but it's just like a really nice place here. It's like a park and stuff. I'm just sitting here and I'm filming these videos. Why am I filming these videos when I could be doing other things? Because I want to put this here on camera, because in 5 fucking years I won't be able to do this. And I don't have a big business. The business I'm launching now, Delusion, is zero. It's just in like zero. I have my life going on right now, which is a very ordinary normal life, and from here it's only up for me. And I want to put it over here because I want all of you to see that this stuff is real, man. You can actually achieve anything you fucking want. And if you're actually willing to be delusional, if you allow yourself to be fucking delusional, you can achieve all your fucking dreams, all of it. I'm living fucking proof. And every single thing that you desire, if it's good, if it's coming from a good place and you fully believe it, you will raise yourself to it. It will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Now there are some cons that comes with these things. If you set a big vision, let's say you're at 12, you're in 12th grade and you're like, I'm gonna become a billionaire. Okay, your vision is going to become a reality probably if you give it everything. And just the vision is not the only thing, right? And it's quite extreme to be a billionaire. But if you set like, hey, first I have to make $1,000, then I have to make 10,000, then I have to make 20,000, then I have to make 30,000 and 40,000 and 50,000. If you keep all of that, you can get there. That step by step process of goal setting is just as important. Now when you have such a big vision, you can't allow yourself to be like waiting for like, oh yeah, I'll reach the billion and then I'll be happy, or like I'll reach the billion and then my life starts, or any of those things. Imagine like J.K. Rowling writing her books and she just like waiting for herself to become like have movies and all these things and 8 books, 7 books, and then the sequels and all these things. You can't expect it to happen quickly, and you can't get emotionally attached to the entire thing and drown yourself in the misery of not having it. That's not the point of the vision. The vision is just to set a trajectory for your life, for you to not be aimless, for you to not be purposeless, for you to not feel like you don't have a destiny or a purpose, because you do have a destiny, you do have a purpose, you have a trajectory to go in your life. And that's why you set the vision. And this vision allows you to set goals. It keeps you mentally sane through your darkest periods. The people that have overcome big adversity, I myself can vouch for this. I would never have overcome the kind of adversity that I have overcome, the setbacks, the betrayals, the issues, the health issues, the personal issues, the emotional issues, any of these things, if I didn't know that I had this vision and this was my purpose and this is what I'm going to. And I had this vision 5 years ago. And honestly speaking, this year, fifth year in or seventh year in, like 5th year in starting business, but 7 years of like personal development, is when I finally believed like 100% without even a grain of doubt that this is exactly like my thing, who I am, what I wanted. Like nothing is going to change for me. I mean, I've been walking like this is the thing, and even now I have doubts. It's not that I don't have doubts. Some days I feel like shit, am I on the right path? But am I doing the right thing? Am I this thing? But I still believe that vision is there. I'm just worried about the day to days. I'm worried about the next week or the month or the years. Like I believe still that I'll get to the end goal. Even as I'm saying it, it sounds stupid. If you know you're gonna get to the end goal, why worry, right? But I'm human, and this is why I want you guys to see the real deal. Like I'm not faking it here, saying like have the vision and like rock solid belief and like everything is gonna work out. It doesn't work that way. I'm human, you're human. We're gonna feel doubts, we're gonna feel afraid, we're gonna worry if things are gonna work out, and that's part of the game. But doubts don't mean that you you doubt the end vision, you doubt that it's even possible, you doubt that it's impossible. Sometimes, yeah, you'll think like, man, I think I'm being crazy, and I wondered that my whole time. And that's why I'm making Delusion. That's why this is my contribution to the world. I don't want any fucking people to go fucking crazy or kill themselves in the process, or like actually suffer so fucking much as a lonely entrepreneur or as a lonely artist or anything. Anybody trying to change their fucking life as a lonely person trying to build a vision for their life and make their dreams come true. And honestly, entrepreneurship is fucking ugly. It's one of the ugliest games you can play. It's so fucking brutal. The betrayals, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, criticism, rejection, setback after failures, doubts, late nights. It's just brutal. But Is it worth it? I think so. I'm starting to see like I enjoy it. Okay, this is who I am. I am a fucking entrepreneur, like through and through. It's my destiny. Is it for you? I don't know. You have to choose. But whatever it is that you have in your life, set that fucking vision and believe it. Because if you believe it 100%, it will take you through the adversity and you will make it a self fulfilling prophecy. And for me, this fifth year, seventh year, I know it is working. All these things I'm saying to you is 100% fact because I have extraordinary results. Like my younger self looks at me like today and I'm his motherfucking like hero. I'm a super fucking hero compared to that kid. So if you can do the same for yourself in a few years, you will know that it's uh, what everything I'm saying is true. Have a vision for 1 year, have a vision for 2 years, have a vision for 3 years of your life. I would suggest you do it bigger, long term. Try to think long term because when you think long term, you have to activate patience, and when you activate patience, your options expand. You're not attached to the bullshit distractions and the ego-driven motivations of flexing and impressing people and like petty battles with people and trying to prove that you're right and they're wrong and like trying to get back at people. Most people's petty political issues, all this like fighting dramas, all this annoying shit is because they're aimless in life and they don't have purpose and all these things. And these people end up attacking people who have purpose and who have these things like myself. But who's losing? Who's unhappy? Like not me, not Gary Vee, not Patrick David, not Conor McGregor, not these guys, like not the guys who are living their life and trying to make it better. I'm not saying everybody has to be a YouTuber or a billionaire or an entrepreneur or anything. It doesn't matter. I honestly genuinely believe like how I live, I would love to just live as like a farmer in like a village in India or like Thailand or like a just fishing in boats and stuff or like hunting and just like hunting for my food and living in like a small ranch. I want either that or I want the posh life. Like I want the extremes, and I think most entrepreneurs and people who are delusional are like this extremes, right? Because I don't see any point in like working a job, buying a car so that I can pay its bill, so that then I can buy the next one, and then up. Like it's just pointless. The rat race is fucking pointless. So if you are delusional and you don't want to be stuck in the fucking rat race, what you need first and foremost is a fucking vision, a big fucking vision that makes the entire world around you and the entire world itself think that you're actually fucking crazy. It should think that you're crazy. If they think you're crazy, you're on the right path. Then the only thing is just to keep moving forward, believing, having that faith that it is working out, it is going to work out, and that this is your destiny and that it's your purpose. And if your heart's in the right place and you're doing the right things, it will work out. And always be fixed on the vision. Fixed on the vision. Like once you truly know that's what you want, if that's actually what you want, not because your parents wanted, not because your friends wanted, not because the community told you, not because somebody else told you or advised you or any of those things, because you want it truly, then be fixed on that fucking vision. Never give up, but always be flexible in your approach. Be flexible in your technique, tactics and stuff. Be flexible in the day-to-days and the week-to-weeks. Take advice. Be open to criticism. Be open to feedback. This is one of the key problems that you will have when you first make a big vision. It's that you won't have the strong inner self to withstand the criticism and the uh, feedback, right? You will criticism will bring you down too much, praise will take you up too much. You'll get a first sale and the company is booming, you'll be like, oh my god, I'm the best thing on the planet. And then some customer will be like, oh no, your product sucks, and you'll be like, it's gonna be very extreme. It is gonna be like that, and that's part of the process, I think. I don't know, maybe some people don't ever experience that, but I did. When I started, I experienced that a lot, and it was very hard for me the first 1.5 years to 2 years when I really struggled. Honestly speaking, it's only eased up now. In my fifth year is when I know I have like a strong sense of self, and like I can withstand anything. But I would say the first year and the year 2 years is like really hard. Um, it must be different for everyone because of like upbringing, childhood traumas, how our personalities are, character, all these things, right? But for someone who couldn't handle such small things in the first and second year, the kind of stuff I handled in third, fourth, and fifth years would shock people. Like, shocks me. So I, and that is only possible because of the vision. That vision is what kept me through. Like, every step I just kept believing, like, oh, this must mean that. Like, I kept finding reasons. There's a saying in like Navy SEAL training. It says, just find an excuse to win. And I really have been like, I've been applying a lot of these military like concepts, because I just felt like my journey was so fucking hard, with the kind of like like imaginable obstacles and setbacks that I've had to experience, that the only way for me to go forward was to like have like a special forces mindset, like Navy SEALs, Delta Force, Marcos, like those type of guys, like straight killers, savages. Because I've had extraordinary like setbacks and like extraordinary anomalistic experiences where I'm like, this shit is not relatable to anybody else. I can't relate to anybody else. I'm going fucking mad over here. What the fuck is happening in my life? I need some answers. I need protocols, and I need something to keep me going. And the only place I could find was like special forces and military and all these things. People who have had tough lives, people who have had extraordinary circumstances. And then I started like putting all these things together, like from monks and spiritual leaders and military leaders and philosophers and scientists and entrepreneurs, artists, people who have achieved big things, people who have achieved great things, people who have fulfill their life's path and destiny and all these things from all walks of life. And I have internalized all of it, and I'm internalizing more and more day by day, and I'm putting all that into this fucking philosophy that I call delusion. And I want you to also experience this. And the key thing is that people say like, yeah, it's gonna be you're gonna look delusional, and you are. But people don't understand that the delusion and the craziness and the faith and all of these things is what makes it work, because it's your path, it's your destiny, only you can see it, nobody else can see it. So have the fucking faith, create the big vision. Don't think about what's practical and possible, think about what is impossible that you want. Take that and just take it. Just fucking take it, believe it's yours, and start walking towards it. Always adjust your approaches, learn from people, seek advice, and just don't give up and keep going, no matter how great the pain is, no matter how difficult it looks, how bleak it looks. Just keep walking and going forward. Because one of the big things also is, when you have such a big vision, like a 40-year vision, let's say, your timeline expands. Like, you're like, okay, I'll make my first million in 10 years, for example. I'll become a millionaire in 10 years. Then automatically you're becoming patient. So having a big vision is so important. Big just doesn't mean in terms of grandness, it also means in terms of timeline, right? You can't just be like, yeah, I'll become a billionaire. And I use the word billionaire because it's such an extreme astronomical like the thing, right? Like, fucking like only 3,000 people in the world are listed billionaires, and that's extraordinarily hard and difficult, and most people, even if they wanted or tried, won't get there, and it's so hard to even stay there. And I don't think being a billionaire will bring you any happiness. Really, it won't. I think if you have enough money to eat, sleep, like you have all the things you need that money can buy and cover, you're fine. Like, if you make like $10,000 per month, $20,000 per month, your life is set. Like, unless you have like a huge family and responsibilities. So it's not that you need it. Of course, your happiness shouldn't depend on any of this. But building that $1 billion company, that requires you to become a certain person. It requires you to study marketing, it requires you to study leadership, negotiation, strategy, sales, operations. Maybe it requires you to learn how to manage your emotions better. Maybe you have to learn industry knowledge. You have to learn how to manage being a dad, because you'll be 55 years old at that point. You have to manage. So you have to develop that overarching vision. And I'm saying this because I want to build a $1 billion brand. I really do. It's going to be a life, like a full, like my life I'll have to dedicate to it. But what, to me, nothing else makes sense. What the fuck else am I supposed to do on this fucking planet that's floating in the sky like a billion miles an hour? Like, what? I'm supposed to go to a job, eat, work, and die? Fuck no. No, thank you. Okay. Like, I want to build something extraordinary. and maybe pass it to my kids, maybe whatever. But through it all, it's just about becoming that person, like the person who's capable of doing that, the person who is so skilled, the person who is so hardworking, the person who is so competent, the person who is so confident, the person who has mastery, the person who has all these things, right? And the belief, like, most important, like, I think one of the coaches, like, I can't remember who it was, but I think all these guys talk about it. It's like success is 80% psychology, success is 80% mindset, and 20% techniques. And I'm giving you the 80%. Delusion is the 80%. It's faith, it's belief, it's perseverance, it's fucking grit. It's all of that in like this perfect bottle. Just drink it, chuck that shit, and your dreams are a reality. Okay, really. There's a big ass bird flying. Looks sick, but that's it, dude. Like, develop a vision for your life in any single thing. The body you want, the money you want, the brand you want to build, the woman you want to marry, the women you want to date, the friends you want to have, the pupils you want to teach, the mentors you want to have, the pets you want to have, the watches, the cars, the church, the community, the mosque you want to build, the Ramadan feasts you want to hold, the temples you want to build, the orphanages you want to help to, the books you want to write. Doesn't matter, any single thing. I want to plant 1,000 trees, I want to save 10 cows, I want to build a home for cats, it doesn't matter. Any single vision for your life will make your life better. The longer and bigger it is, the harder it is, the better you have to get to achieve it. So even better. And I hope you have a big vision that will carry you through your dark times and your tough situations, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. That's saying, right? And the light comes from this fucking vision. So develop that vision, and most importantly, be delusional.